Hello lovelies, it's Porsha and welcome to my first YouTube video. Well, actually, let me give you a quick backstory. So I'm not new to YouTube. I actually started a YouTube channel with my sister, I would say in 2017, where we wanted to be the representation for young women to embrace their naturally curly hair. And so we did that for a while, and then ultimately that channel turned into mine, where it was called The Curly Fashionista, where I was talking to you about natural hair and branching off into lifestyle and fashion content. Now we have a new channel, and I'm so glad to announce with Love Porsha, because this channel is going to be dedicated to inspiring young women to embrace their feminine energy through the lifestyle of princess core, royal core, and cottage core. And I'm really passionate about this because I want you to feel confident. I want you to feel loved and comfortable, especially now in this time. I want to be the representation that I wanted to see growing up for Black women. We're so programmed to be harsh, to be hard, and to be strong and undesirable. And so I would love to be the change that I want to see in the future, that we could be gentle, regal, soft, and royal at the same time. So I hope you'll stay along with me and subscribe if you want to see and continue to see feminine content. Now in today's video, I asked you guys some questions on Instagram for a Q&A, and I thought it would be really fun to see what you guys wanted to know and to answer some of your questions. So I'll be looking down at my phone for some of them for the questions. So let me pull that up right now. Okay, so the first question is, what is your fave shop for princess attire? So I have always been a young lady who loves thrifting ever since I was younger. I was raised by my single mother at the age of 11, and until now. She was raising three little babies, so she always couldn't afford to go to certain fashion companies and to get us all of the name brand clothes. So we would be thrifting, and we would also be handed down some clothes from some really wonderful people. Developed that love for thrifting into my adulthood. So to be honest, I would honestly say my favorite places to shop for princess attire is thrift stores and consignment stores. I can't honestly say that I have one certain store right now, because I'm not used to shopping so much at name brand stores. Say the store that I shopped at the most in the past was Forever 21 and H&M. But I will say thrifting is my #1 princess attire, and I'll always probably stand behind that. It's also good for the environment, and it's a nice place to find some really beautiful treasures. By the way, thank you, Lauren. The next question is, what inspired you to be involved in this aesthetic? Also love you. Love you too, girl. Thank you for the question. And so I would say what inspired me is that I feel like I've already been in this aesthetic. It just happened to have a name within this time, and I've discovered princess core and royal core. I discovered cottage core more in the summer, and then I discovered princess core and royal core, I believe 2 months ago. How my lifestyle was, there could be a name behind it. So now that there is a name given to it, I would say I've always kind of been in this aesthetic. It wasn't until I really started to be more confident in myself and understand that being feminine isn't something that I have to be ashamed of. And I would say I officially started my feminine energy journey two years ago. Oh wow, it's been 2 years. I've always been so feminine, but I really intentionally started my feminine journey 2 years ago, and that's what's really helped me to embrace who I am. And I've never felt happier, and I never felt more comfortable in my skin, and I never felt more confident, and all I want to do is continue to share it with the world. Next question is, if you had to live in one aesthetic for the rest of your life, what would it be? By the way, thank you, Romy, for this question. Oh my gosh, you know what? I think it would have to be princess core. And I say that because I can be a princess in any aesthetic, and I feel like royal core and cottage core are kind of in the same umbrella. I really love cottage core and I really love royal core, and I feel like princess core basically brings them all together. And I say princess core because my mother truly made me believe that I was royalty and a princess. And not just believe, I knew that I was royalty and princess. And I always say this, I felt like I was a royal princess in a past life, and I'm just now a modern day princess. She's always given me that idea that I am already a princess, so I ultimately became one. And it was affirmations. I feel like as she continued to tell me that I was a princess, those were positive affirmations that have continued to grow within me. So I truly believed as I became an adult that I've always been a princess. Thank you for that question. That was such a great question, Romy. Okay, so the next question is, what happened that made you want to be a princess? So she has 3 questions. So I'll answer the first one. I think I kind of answered that in my last question. I already was raised to be a princess, and I can't thank my mother enough for that, because that has really shown me my worth as a feminine woman, a feminine Black woman. What gave you the confidence? Looks like I kind of already answered this question in my last question, but just finally being comfortable with who I am and not being ashamed of being a divine feminine woman. And when I started my feminine journey, that really gave me my confidence, and also just surrounding myself with really wonderful people who love me and care about me, and who don't shame me for the things that I love and the things that I enjoy and who I am. So I think it's really important, if you're really trying to gain that confidence, is to make sure you put yourself in an environment to love yourself and to be confident about who you are and what you want to do with yourself and your life. And tips for newbies. I think those were the tips. So I will have a more in-depth on it. So far, I kind of have a little series that I'm going to slacking a little bit on every Sunday, where I teach you guys how to become a princess. And I always say your first step is to change your mindset. You have to truly believe that you are a princess in order to want to live the princess core aesthetic lifestyle. And I always say it's a lifestyle. It's not just about style. It's not just about aesthetic, but you really have to truly believe you are a princess. And as you become a princess and believe that you're a princess, you will ultimately figure out your whole entire journey, and it will become easier and it will be more enjoyable. You don't have to force yourself if you already believe you're a princess, because you're already going to know what to do. Okay, so the next question is from Amber. And sorry guys if I'm not saying your name, but I will put the questions on the screen to kind of give you guys a little shout out. So Amber asked me, I've never heard the term cottagecore, would love a definition in a video maybe. So I truly had to look up this definition, so I am going to look that up right now. But my definition of cottagecore before I had looked it up was the aesthetics of a farmer, a gardener, and someone who enjoys being out in nature and who loves animals and lives in a cottage. I'm gonna look that up for you guys so that we can get an accurate definition of what cottagecore is. Cottagecore is an internet fashion aesthetic, also described by some sources of Gen Z subculture, and celebrates an idealized rural life, and developed throughout the 2010s until being named on Tumblr in 2018. My next question is, how did you know this aesthetic was for you, especially with no representation? This is a really wonderful question. Hello lovelies, future self here. So Princess Tiana was, and still is, my favorite Disney princess. She was a wonderful representation. And of course, Brandy in her adaptation of Cinderella also was really great representation for me, but I will say it wasn't ultimately their portrayals was the deciding factor. Just me finally being confident in who I was, and I was gravitating towards those certain styles and that certain lifestyle, so I feel like it was embedded in me already, and it was calling my name and it was drawing me closer. Myself and a few other of my content creator friends. I do a series on representing and also showcasing Black princess core creators on my TikTok, and I do that every single month. So if you are an inspiring princess core Black creator, I would love for you guys to leave it down in the comments, and I may add you in my next episode on TikTok in my series. So make sure you guys look out for that every month. The representation, I want to be that representation, and I feel like me and a few other my Black creators are going to start being the pioneer for this aesthetic, and I truly feel like that's such an honor, because I don't see a lot of us doing that, and that's because we're afraid. It's not that it's not accepted for us, but I feel like some of us are a little afraid because we feel like a certain culture is supposed to strictly have that aesthetic. So now that we are being more confident in our femininity and understanding that we are allowed to be in those certain spaces, I think it's going to slowly continue to grow our community and to grow our representation. But truly amazing question. Thank you for asking that. See, she asked, what originally inspired each of your aesthetics? So this is you guys have such great questions. Thank you so much. Okay, so I kind of already explained princess core and royal core. I feel like those two go in hand, and I feel like I kind of did cottage core, but I'll briefly do cottage core, fairy core, and angel core. I just recently started gravitating, I like to say this, gravitating or being pulled or drawn to angel core and fairy core. So with cottage core, I think that's always kind of been my staple one that I've been gravitated towards, and then I discovered princess core, and I feel like that also became a staple for me. With cottage core, I just loved being outside in nature. First of all, I'm an earth sign. Woo woo, I'm a Virgo, and also if you're a Virgo, I would love to know in the comments, so make sure you put that down below, girl. I see you. I'm an earth sign, so I love being out in nature. I love being around water, and I love flowers. Towards fluffy puff sleeve dresses, lace, and also just having that carefree, fresh face, natural makeup. I feel like that's how I got into cottage core, or I gravitated towards cottage core. And then for angel core, that one is just so heavenly. It's eternal, and it's also just delicate, and I love the fact that me myself is that. Core isn't also just about gravitating towards things that are light and lovely. There's also a dark side to it, and it's not necessarily evil all the time like society has programmed us to be versus light and dark. So I'm a believer in Christ, and I love Jesus. I have a relationship with him. I don't like using the term Christianity as my basic religion, because someone could be Christian without having a relationship with Christ. So that's why show my spirituality, I like to say I'm in a relationship with Jesus Christ. So I feel like that was ultimately, once I heard angel core was a thing, I'm like, okay, obviously that's an aesthetic that is a part of me. And also I would truly believe my mother's an angel, and she has angel powers, and she was sent here to heal and protect everyone, and also to raise other fellow angels like myself. She's also a registered nurse, so oh my gosh, she's like healing people left and right, so it was obvious that I had to be an angel core. And so for fairy core, that one's a little bit more interesting. That is under the umbrella of cottage core. Fairy core, it's so cute and it's so adorable, and I love how delicate they are. I love how magical they are, and I love how enchanting they are. Okay, so the next question comes from Marcia. Hey girl, hi queen. So her question was, how did you figure out your personal style? Okay, so I'm struggling with this question because your girl is still figuring out her personal style, and I say that because fashion is always changing, it's moving, it's evolving. I don't just have one strict aesthetic. Yes, I have certain pieces, fabrics, textiles that I love and I gravitate towards, but I feel like with me, I continue to develop my personal style. I can't necessarily say that I've developed it. I will always continue to develop my personal style, and I feel like that's perfectly fine because it keeps wardrobe fun, and it also is so fun to try different things and to not limit yourself. So I would have to say I am still developing my personal style. Okay, so Tia, she asked, how did you bring out your inner princess? I think that goes in hand of when I started intentionally starting my feminine journey 2 years ago. Already raised to be a princess once again, thanks to my queen mommy. She has truly loved on me and she showed me so much compassion. She's brought me so much joy in my life where I've developed into a princess who admits that, loves to show it and to share it with everyone. My inner princess was already there. I just had to be confident with her. I had to be patient with her, and I had to be kind. And I'll still be bringing her out as the days go by, because I will always be changing. I will always be evolving. But I officially started truly embracing my inner princess 2 years ago. Who is your biggest fashion inspiration? You guys are probably gonna think this is coming out of left field, but my girls Chloe and Halle. Insert amazing pictures here. I'm gonna need their stylist because they come through with the most amazing, unique, bomb, elegant, out of the ordinary fashion pieces that I'm just like, it always takes my breath away. I'm like, who is styling y'all? Like, y'all continue to look so bomb, and I need to be on that level. I would love to dress like that, but I just feel like, once again, I'm too adorable and cute, I feel like, to dress like that, and I'm not necessarily drawn to it. But I think they're my biggest fashion inspirations because they're so bold and they're so confident in their style, and they're not afraid to be who they are in the certain pieces and designers that they do wear. That's more of the fashion inspiration for me, not necessarily just their clothing, but how they wear the clothes, girl. And I always say, do not let the clothes wear you, you wear the clothes. Okay, so the next question is, how did you get started? I love angel core aesthetic and I don't know where to start. Really great question. I think this is from Chelsea, so thank you, Chelsea, for this question. I will definitely have a more in-depth video on, honestly, I think I'll do all four aesthetics, because I know a lot of my royals aren't gravitated to princess core. I know there's some gravitate to angel core, fairy core, and cottage core, so I feel like I would definitely put that in my list of content videos for how to get started in each of those aesthetics. But I will leave you with this piece of advice. It's always probably going to be my first step for every single aesthetic is, Chelsea, sweet pea, you have to believe that you're already an angel. In order to be in the lifestyle of angel core aesthetics, you already have to know that you're an angel, and everything will flow so smoothly. So changing your mindset to believing you are. He's so cute. By the way, Romy has a YouTube channel. Also, Lauren Enchanted Noor has a YouTube channel. So I will have both of their channels link down below. But she said, not a question, but I'm so excited for this channel. Thank you so much, girl, for supporting me. By the way, you're doing so great. So proud of your growth, and keep doing what you're doing. The next question is, I love your okay, so I love this username, by the way, your local princess, because she already knows she's a princess. So her question is, how did you start to dress like this, and do you have tips on building a wardrobe? How you start to dress like this I always get back to this, and I believe this so wholeheartedly, is knowing you are a princess, is knowing that you're royalty. Because whenever I go to thrift stores and whenever I'm shopping, I kid you not, I gravitate towards pieces, and that's how I find pieces. Yes, I go to certain areas of the thrift store that I mainly go to, like the dress area or the jewelry area or the shoes area. And I just ultimately have a keen eye and a keen understanding in knowing which pieces I want to choose. And my mind strictly goes that way. Just believing in yourself and believing you're a princess, and your body and your mind and your heart will gravitate towards those certain type of styles. Tips on building a wardrobe is I feel like also getting the staple pieces. How you style it. It's not the article of clothing, but it's how you style your clothing, and that is going to bring your whole wardrobe together. So making sure you have stable pieces. I will also do there's so many great videos. I'm so excited for my channel. I'll also do a staple video on princess core staples and wardrobes. Last question is, oh, it's from my little princess. She already knows who she is. What's your favorite aspect about princess core, and how old were you when you realized you wanted to do this? Okay, so honestly, I feel like just since birth. I was birthed to become a princess. Me officially being confident and realizing that I wanted to be in princess core is once again when I started my feminine energy journey. It just didn't have a name to it yet. And so what's my favorite aspect about princess core? Once again, it's the lifestyle. It's not always necessarily about the dresses or the jewelry or the makeup or the hairstyles or the beauty part of it. It's more about how you feel inside. And so with princess core, feeling like a princess makes me so comfortable in my skin, and it brings me so much confidence, and with that confidence and that self-love allows me to achieve the goals and the passions that I see for myself. So I'd say my favorite is mindset on already being a princess. That was actually all of the questions. You guys asked such amazing questions, and thank you so much. I didn't think I was going to get as many questions, and I'm so glad that you guys are here supporting my journey, because I want you to be your best feminine self as well. If you guys enjoyed this video and you love the content that I make, please continue to support me by turning on your post notifications. This will allow you to see and get notified whenever I upload a new video. So just subscribing does help, but it's easier when you turn on that post notification so that you know when I upload next. I love these Q&A questions because they make them so, it becomes so personal, and I love developing that relationship and that community with you guys. And since really taking off with the content that I want to share with you guys that I love, I have truly developed such wonderful and sweet relationships with some of you and also my creator friends. So thank you so much for giving me this space, and I want you to know that my channel is a space where you could be comfortable to be the modern day princess that you are. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video.